lot of these guys, you're just excited to see them play in preseason.
Family night is in the books. The preseason is here.
Everything starts with how we come out and the energy that we have.
The Packers open up action tonight at Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers.
The goal is always to play one drive, go down and score a touchdown, you're good.
Where they'll see a few familiar faces, including their old head coach.
Green Bay Packers, Dallas Cowboys, Pittsburgh Steelers. That's pretty special.
And future Hall of Fame quarterback.
Being able to sit behind Aaron and see just the way he was able to control line of scrimmage, see pressures, make protection adjustments, and pick stuff up was next level.
The next 3 weeks are where roster spots are won and lost.
Just everything's a competition right now.
Your NBC 26 Tailgate Talk coverage starts right now.
That's all I'm going to say about that.
We're coming at you live from the NBC 26 weather deck. We have the brats and burgers on the grill, and man, they're looking good. But I'm John Miller. To my left is the legend, Kelly Hallinan. And as much as I want to dive into these, we got to talk football, Kelly. It sure sounds like the starters are going to be playing tonight.
Yeah, head coach Matt LaFleur said that there is data that supports the starters playing in the preseason in those early weeks. It helps with injuries, he said, but obviously he doesn't want any injuries to happen in the preseason like last year, Jordan Love injuring his thumb. So we'll see how long, if the starters play, we'll see how long they're in there for, but at least maybe a drive.
Yeah, in that same data, he also said if you do play in the preseason, you're less likely to get hurt during the regular season. But speaking of Jordan Love, he backed up, the legend Aaron Rodgers for such a long time. And why don't we take a little look back at one of the most special memories he gave Packers fans? On February 6, 2011, Aaron Rodgers put on a performance Green Bay fans will never forget, showing the entire world what his right arm could do, throwing the pigskin for 304 yards and 3 touchdowns, helping the Packers take home their 4th Super Bowl title with a 31-25 victory over his current team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's hard to believe that was 15 years ago. And on Wednesday, the Green Bay media was able to speak to Rodgers as he prepares for the final season of his illustrious career, and he said he wishes this preseason game against his old team was in Green Bay.
Really hoping that this one was going to be in Green Bay, not just to get back in Lambeau one more time, but to head out to Chives for a dinner and maybe head out to Green Bay Country Club for a quick night or something.
When asked about what it will be like to return to Lambeau Field 5 years from now as a Hall of Famer and to have his number retired, Rodgers said he has to get an invite first.
I'm always going to have such a strong tie to Green Bay and the organization. And, if that comes to fruition, that could be a cool deal.
He also talked about what he missed in Green Bay. Rodgers said his house, fall primetime games at Lambeau Field, and of course, the fans.
Nothing like that fan base and the way they travel and the crowds at home and players around the league. They talk about how special it is to play at Lambeau, and sometimes you might miss that or forget about that when you're playing because it becomes so normal to have such an amazing crowd.
While Rodgers has had to adjust to new scenery the last few years, this year in his 22nd and final NFL season, he reunites with a familiar face, one he hoisted the Lombardi Trophy with, head coach Mike McCarthy.
I just feel like it's such a beautiful full circle moment for me in my career and my life to finish here with Mike, and I'm savoring that part for sure.
As he enters his swan song, he doesn't feel too nostalgic. He spent a lot of last year soaking in what could have been his final moments in the NFL. But Rodgers is thankful for all the people he got to share his career with.
If you miss out on the relationships in this game, you're kind of missing the whole gist of what we're actually doing. Obviously, we're judged on our wins and losses and paid based off our production, but the thing that actually lasts the longest is those people that impact your life, and there's not a lot of those. A lot of them, especially in Green Bay.
Yeah, I think this guy's going to help us as a returner and as a receiver. I think he's going to do both. I expect him to be part of our squad moving forward.
Last week, general manager Brian Gutekunst says he expects Sky Moore to make the 53-man roster. I'm Kelly Hallinan at Lambeau Field, where we caught up with Moore about that high praise and what he can bring to this Packers team.
It's good, but I also try not to hear it, I, try to just come in and be the same guy every day, put my best foot forward, and, see where that takes me.
The Packers signed the former second-round pick in March after he spent last season with the 49ers, where he ranked 6th in the NFL in kickoff return average. Now he's learning a new system under special teams coordinator Cam Acord.
I love him. I love his energy. He's a guy that you want to play for, just going out there. And on top of that, he has a great scheme. And I feel like it's very returner friendly. So we should be able to see a lot of those big plays this year.
While Moore could make a big impact on special teams, head coach Matt LaFleur says he's liked what he's seen at receiver.
You watch him with the ball in his hands. I mean, it's undeniable. Like, the guy's strong. He can run through tackles. He can make people miss. Early indications are that he's done a good job of picking up our playbook.
Now Moore is focused on showing that he can bring another element to the Packers offense.
I'm an explosive dude. Somebody that, can, come and make a game-changing play at any moment. We got a lot of weapons in that room with MG, Savion, Christian, Jay Reed. I just want to be another tool Jordan can pull out when it's time to, when it's time to work.
And with his first game in the green and gold approaching, Moore is looking at it as an opportunity.
Some people don't care about the preseason. I care about the preseason. Anytime I put them jerseys on and them helmets on, I'm ready to go. So I really don't look at it as any different than a real game.
At Lambeau Field, Kelly Hallinan, NBC 26 Sports.
Struck me was how real the people are on NBC 26. They're real people, they're friendly, and they seem very, very sincere. That's what I was looking for.
Lots of clouds mixing with occasional sunshine across western Pennsylvania today. Highs in Pittsburgh, for the most part, in the upper 70s to lower 80s, which is where we should be in Pittsburgh for this time of year. You can see the normal high is 82 with the normal low of 63. Now, the high-res future radar showing a lot of clouds across the state. We've had a few scattered showers, maybe a rumble of thunder across northern PA. That activity is expected to weaken as we head deeper into the evening. But once we get into the second half, you can see that the high-res future radar is at least suggesting that maybe a shower or a sprinkle could work in from Ohio. We'll have southwest winds right around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Kickoff temperatures will be in the mid to upper 70s. It will be humid throughout the evening. Sunset is at 8:20. Once the sun goes down, temperatures will slowly fall through the lower half of the 70s, but with dew points in the upper 60s, it is going to be a sticky night.
The Packers' offensive line is still taking shape with Jordan Morgan at left tackle, Aaron Banks at left guard, and Sean Ryan at center. Zach Bako-Biwele is expected to handle right tackle, while Anthony Belton, Jacob Monk, and rookie Jagger Burton are competing for the starting job at right guard. John Miller caught up with Burton ahead of his first game in the green and gold.
John Miller here now with Packers rookie offensive lineman Jagger Burton. Jagger, you're getting ready for your first preseason game. How exciting is that?
Yeah, it's super exciting. They said it would come up fast, and it did. So I'm just excited to get to go hit somebody not in green and yellow. So
you were injured to start camp. What's the process like getting back into the swing of things?
Yeah, definitely. I basically just missed like the, they slowly ramp it up. So I basically just hopped in on our first full pad day. So definitely, takes a second to get into football shape. The only real way to do it is play football. So, but I feel great now, and I'm happy to be back. So
it seems like all the coaches have kind of praised you since you've been here. You've been running with the first team. What does it mean to run with the first team, making the most of your chances?
Yeah, I think it's just the experience of being around the vets like Zach and, just being around Jordan, Zach, and Sean, and hearing how they communicate, and talking to Banks, where he's getting back and he's just kind of sitting right there watching me, and he's helping me out with stuff that he's learned, maybe like stuff that he says that he wish he knew sooner. I'm blessed to be in a room with the vets that are so helping to the younger guys, and it's been awesome.
You play in the SEC, which has some great talent, but what's been the biggest adjustment for you so far in the pros?
Yeah, I would just say the mental part of it. Yeah, it's just like the playbook's way bigger, and then you just have less margin of error. Like if you misstep a little bit, sometimes in college you'll be all right. Here, you got to trust your technique every time. So having great O-line coaches like we do here makes that a lot easier.
Not football related, but what's been your thoughts on Green Bay so far?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. It kind of reminds me of Kentucky, like small town, super invested, and like family night is like the craziest thing ever. I was like, people were talking about it, and they were just like, you just got to wait and see it. And I walked out, and I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, like that's like a college football game normally, what I'm used to, that crowd. So, seeing them in training camp and just knowing how much they care about us makes us just want to push even harder to ultimately bring back a championship here, which is the ultimate goal every year. So.
What are you hoping to get out of the first preseason game on Thursday?
Yeah, I think it's a good opportunity just to get your feet wet. It's practice is one thing. Games are normally completely different, normally easier. So I'm just excited to kind of get the first one under the belt and, roll from there. I'm sure there'll be a lot to improve on, so I'm excited for the opportunity.
Kentucky's not too far away from Pennsylvania. Are you going to have some family there at all?
Yeah, my parents will be there. And then I think some other family friends are going to come, so it should be pretty cool.
Awesome. Jagger, enjoy your pro debut. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
These brats and burgers are coming to you live from our Packers preview show, Tailgate Talk. I'm sports reporter John Miller, and Kelly Hallinan joins me. And Kelly, there's been a lot of standouts in camp so far.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been a lot of guys we could choose from or pick from to talk about. But earlier before camp, head coach Matt LaFleur talked about Isaiah Neyor, and Neyor has been one of the standouts so far.
Yeah, and he's going to want to take advantage of his opportunity in tonight's preseason game. I caught up with Neyor in the locker room earlier this week ahead of tonight's game. I'm here with wide receiver Isaiah Neyor. Isaiah, obviously the first preseason game is coming up. What is your perspective on the preseason games?
I just look at it as as an opportunity to go out there and just show the coaches and everybody what I can do. I don't want to make it any bigger than what I need to make it. Just go out there, do what I've been doing, and just try to improve.
How would you describe last year's experience, having that experience with this team, with this receiver room, and then coming back? How much did that experience help last season with the Packers?
It definitely helped, having a lot of those guys to, look up to, learn from, kind of pick their brains a little bit. So, having that full off season to just, kind of get better, I think it's really been helpful. I learned a lot from these guys, try to, find little things that I can get better at to make me a better player, and I think it's been pretty good so far.
Is there anyone specifically in the receiver room who you'll go to with questions or who has really helped you?
Definitely Christian Watson. We're kind of like built the same a little, so just kind of, looking up to him a little bit. Big, tall, fast guy, who makes a lot of plays. So I try to pick his brain a little bit, kind of guys like him who I kind of model myself after a little. So just kind of look up to him a little bit.
How would you describe your style of play and what you bring to that room?
I just feel like I'm a vertical threat. It's something I've been doing since I've been in college, kind of going deep. But also, everything else, I think I have what it takes to be successful at all levels. It just goes down there to it comes down to just playing with the right technique and fundamentals. And then, when the time comes to make those plays. But, yeah.
What do you want to get out of these last few weeks of training camp, and what have you liked so far about training camp?
The last few weeks, I just want to continue to improve, like keep my pad level low. Working on striding out of my routes, not getting too choppy, kind of things that I've talked about with my coach and just continuing to get better overall, keep making plays, building that trust between the players and the coaches, and then, hopefully, make the team from there.
Coming up, Carly Marotta sits down with Steelers head coach Mike McCarthy ahead of his preseason matchup against the team he led to a Super Bowl title.
The latest stories from your Oshkosh neighborhoods at NBC26.com/Oshkosh.
Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy spent 13 years together in Green Bay before going their separate ways. Years later, they're back together again on the same sideline.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl. The Lombardi Trophy is coming home.
To not only come home, but to do it all with Aaron Rodgers. What does that mean to you, to be back together, to be reunited in this fashion?
It's surreal, just to be able to work together again, knowing him as a young man and now to see him at 42, see where he is in his life personally. So I'm very proud of him and what he's accomplished and what's in front of him too.
The biggest difference from now and then?
I think for both of us, more patient. I think the power of reflection is very, very prominent in the way we approach our job. I don't think we're as quick to answer or judge. I think there's definitely more open-mindedness to everything.
But there's one part of Rodgers McCarthy says looks very familiar.
As a football player, he's remarkable. It's the way he still can throw the football. How fast he plays, his anticipation, and he's healthy. He feels a lot better, I think, than he did a year ago. So that's for him to talk about. But yeah, he's a huge part of this team.
Their first run together reached its peak in 2010, when Rodgers and McCarthy led the Packers to a Super Bowl title against McCarthy's hometown Pittsburgh Steelers. Would your 2010 self believe that you guys would have been back together like this?
No, I don't think. No, I just remember, the NFC Championship game, being on the plane ride home from Chicago, and someone said Pittsburgh just won the AFC Championship game, and I said, well, of course they did. So you finally get to the Super Bowl, and then you have to play your hometown team. So I guess at that point, 2010, anything's possible, but it is pure joy. And what a blessing to be here.
This reunion will be short-lived, as Aaron Rodgers said this is his final season. Reporting from Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh, I'm Carly Murata for NBC 26.
As the Packers offense gets set to face the Pittsburgh defense tonight, they should be well prepared, as their new defensive coordinator has made it very hard on them this training camp. What the players had to say about that coming up next as we wrap up the show.
See the latest stories from your Fond du Lac neighborhoods at NBC26.com/Fond du Lac.
I'm Jordan Brennan. I'm the NBC 26 Today meteorologist from where I'm from in the South and where I'm now living. And there's just a lot of welcomeness, which I really appreciate. I was not used to the snow at all when we had that blizzard. That was probably more snow than I had ever seen in my entire life. I just love how easily it felt like home coming here from so far away. It was really scary, but moving to Northeast Wisconsin, I've been able to find a place with so many amazing people and just a place where I'm able to have fun and do what I love.
Baseball is back on NBC and Peacock. Watch Sunday Night Baseball all season long, right here on NBC 26.
This game has been must-see TV on Sports Showdown. The 2026 Sports Showdown schedule has been revealed. Pads are clashing, dummies are being demolished. I love the atmosphere.
Chemistry, leadership, and a strong brotherhood. That culture will allow them to compete with anybody. Big-time matchup, top teams, and storylines you'll want to follow all season long.
Lots of clouds, a little bit of sunshine in Pittsburgh today. We've had a few scattered showers and possible thunderstorms north of the city. That activity is expected to drop to the south and slowly weaken as we head through the evening. But a few showers or sprinkles could work in from Ohio later on this evening before the game actually comes to an end. Kickoff temperatures will be in the mid to upper 70s. Once the sun goes down at 8:20, though, temperatures will fall into the lower 70s with dew points in the upper 60s. So it's going to be sticky.
Packers made a huge hire this offseason by bringing in Jonathan Gannon, the former head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, as their defensive coordinator. And in training camp, he's made life tough on Matt LaFleur and the offense. They've seemingly won almost every day of practice so far. His defense always keeps the offense guessing, throwing out all sorts of different formations, although you likely won't see them tonight as the Packers will keep their plays vanilla on both sides of the ball.
Bullets are flying. Just him bringing it constantly is kind of, like I said, good training exercise.
It's fun. I think it gives guys to be able to play in different spots and kind of show different tools in their tool belt. I think it's going to allow us to really be able to make a lot of plays on the ball, be ball productive, and like I said, just kind of show different skill sets that we all have.
Kelly, we're at training camp every day, and I don't think people understand how great Gannon's defense looks. I'm really excited to see it in game action tonight, although it's going to be pretty vanilla.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the three safety look that we've talked about a lot with Javon Bullard, Evan Williams, and Xavier McKinney. Again, in game action, we've seen some crazy looks in practice, but what can he do in a game? I'm excited for.
Absolutely, and there's a couple rookies on that side of the ball who have been standing out, but give me somebody you're watching tonight you have your eye on.
Yeah, I think Brandon Cisse is an obvious person to watch. We've seen him do so well in training camp so far. I'm excited to see if he could lock up the Steelers receivers. He's also been getting reps with the ones, so what he can do in game action will be interesting.
I'm going to go with rookie defensive tackle Chris McClellan. He's been making a lot of noise in training camp so far. But thank you for tuning in to Tailgate Talk. She's Kelly Hallinan. I'm John Miller, NBC 26 Sports.
Go to thespotgreenbay.com for our full Milwaukee Brewers schedule.